Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome you back to another episode of our Planet Zoo franchise mode Let's Play, where we're going to be diving right back into Elite Zoo South, of course. But first, just want to touch on a little something about Elite Zoo North. Many of you pointed this out in the comments, some of you on Twitter and all that reached out to me, letting me know about the upcoming update. I've seen it as well as, I stay on top of Planet Zoo news too to see what's coming up and, when we can expect things to change or happen. So thank you all for, bringing it to my attention. I was eyeing it as well. So we will be going back to Elite Zoo North when that update releases. I believe, unless I'm mistaken, I believe it's not out yet. But when it does release, we'll take an opportunity at the sort of closest episode there, I think, to go up to Elite Zoo North and take a look at some of those changes that will apply exclusively to the animals we have at Elite Zoo North. Now, there's a lot of really cool changes coming, lots of really cool updates being made. I'm super excited to play around with all that stuff. But the return to Elite Zoo North is largely driven by the fact that animals are getting sort of color variants. They're getting like coat variants and things like that. And what's really great about the way they're doing that is that it's actually going to apply retroactively. So that means, for example, at Elite Zoo North, we have a lot of issues that we need to actually check in on and improve. So it'll be an interesting episode. It'll be a Season 2 episode still, by the way, because Season 2 is, our expansion, if you will, not just Elite Zoo South. We're definitely coming back to North a bit sooner than I initially anticipated, but maybe we'll do a little bit of work there. But anyway, I digress. These new coats and color variants and all that are applying retroactively. So at Elite Zoo North, we already have a bunch of wolves, and wolves we're actually very attached to, right? We don't need to bring in new wolves from the trade center to swap those textures and colors out. By default, because of the genetics of the animal, if I'm not mistaken, that's how it's going to work. Because of the genetics of the animal, the coats and stuff will have variants, and it'll apply retroactively, so those old wolves and other animals will all have that same effect as if they were always like that. I think that's a really cool way to approach the update, so kudos. I'm glad we don't have to get new animals just to see that stuff in action, and I definitely want to make sure we kind of go back again when the update comes out, go back to Elite Zoo North and do a little bit of work over there. We'll be able to check out those new coats. We'll pick up our Galapagos tortoises as well, because we want to do them in Elite Zoo South. We want to have that, connection between North and South there as well, right? So we'll get that done, and maybe we'll do a little bit of work and see what's going on, why people are unhappy, why we're making a loss over here. This was $2 million when we left Elite Zoo North, roughly. So it's a little concerning. So, yeah, maybe we'll do that. Again, when the update comes out, we'll set an episode aside. It'll be an Elite Zoo Season 2 episode, just one where we work on Elite Zoo North, and maybe at the end of it we'll come back to Elite Zoo South and continue working at Elite Zoo South. But anyway, just wanted to talk about that so y'all knew that I knew that it was a thing, that it's coming, and that we should pay attention to it. And I've seen your requests to do a little return to Elite Zoo North, if you will. But again, that's the far future. We'll talk about that when we get there. For now, back to Elite Zoo South, where there is a lot of work to get done. Now, as I dive in, I want to mention, as always, folks, if you've been enjoying the content, you want to see more of it, don't hesitate to keep letting me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. It does make a very big difference in how I approach content on the channel. And on that front, I've seen a handful of comments mentioning how things really feel like they're kind of stagnating right now, which is obviously a top-level concern for me. I never want to feel like anything's stagnant or slowing down too much. It's that circumstance of us having to deal with, well, a couple things, right? We have all these spaces that we built out because money was an issue at the time. We couldn't complete things as we wanted to as we went along. And now we have to come back and try to finish it. I think with Llama Lane last session, though we accomplished, quote unquote, a fair bit, it doesn't feel like we accomplished a lot just visually in terms of the impact it made. So I'm going to try and get more done today and try and get us feeling like we're past that rut, if you will. But I do want to get to another animal soon-ish. I want to at least get a little bit more done at Llama Lane and, up over here as well at Croc Rock, and then Pachamama's Garden too. I want to try and get some work done. What I'm thinking is we'll have a time-lapse right off the bat over here after I'm done rambling. We'll kick things off with a time-lapse, try and get a lot of progress done just down over here, and really just wrap it all up over here, so we don't have to look back at Pachamama's Garden or Llama Lane. And then maybe next session we look at this area overall and just seeing how we can make it a bit more impactful, obviously. And then we can finally move on to a new animal and feel comfortable about not stagnating. Because again, let me make it clear. I appreciate the feedback. It gives me a heads up. It lets me know what y'all are thinking and feeling. So I keep an eye out for that kind of stuff so I can, respond appropriately. Because again, for me, it's hard to, like, sometimes I'm able to see things from the other perspective, but sometimes it's tough. Because for me, it's all like, anyway, it's tough. It's hard to explain, hard to really explain it. But I want to thank you for your transparency, obviously, because it does help me make decisions like that. So yeah, today's first order of business is to head on down to our, Llama Lane and Pachamama's garden sections and try to get some work done over here. Hopefully wrap them up, bring them to completion. If not full completion, then at least, completion as of now, by which I mean we're ready to move on and we might come back 10 episodes down the line to add a couple of extra details. I've got some interesting ideas for both Llama Lane and for Pachamama's garden. I hope I can get both of them done today. I don't know. I'm going to try and be realistic here. We might only get Llama Lane done, but I'm going to try and get both these babies done. And then after the time lapse, we're going to start experimenting a bit more with the monkeys again. That sounded wrong. We're going to experiment with the monkey enclosure again. I've got some, again, solid suggestions as to how we might be able to tackle this. Hopefully one of them works. But again, we'll touch on that later. For now, let's go ahead and focus on, yes, Llama Lane, and hopefully, if I'm able to maintain a high pace, Llama Lane as well as Pachamama's garden. Folks, without further ado, it's time-lapse time. All right, folks, time-lapse time indeed. And let me tell you right off the bat, we do not get to Pachamama's garden. It was a hopeful dream, but one that does not come to fruition. That is because, though, we make a lot of progress at Llama Lane, and I would dare say that Llama Lane is complete at the end of this time lapse, and a little bit of extra kind of finishing touches we do after the time lapse as well, just as I notice things and a few things further on in the episode too. But overall, Llama Lane, at least in the daytime, is done-ish. You know me, nothing's ever done, I guess. But no, I'm pleased with the end result. Overall, we finalize this kind of exposed rock aesthetic and do something which was a huge risk, I'll be honest. But I feel like it's paid dividends. I'm not 100% sure. I'm looking to you for your feedback, obviously, as always, but I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. Or at least I was when I was working on it. Maybe as I'm recording this time-lapse audio, I'll have second thoughts about it or something. But no, I'm pretty pleased with the space. It's finally, I would say, looking like how it was already looking like how I'd envisioned it, keeping in mind the limitations of the game, so to speak. But now I feel like I found a way to push those limitations a little bit further along, so pretty pleased with that. First things first, though, just getting the second floor over here blocked off with these stone pieces, getting that exposed look going on because it was left, kind of just on its own. I think we spoke about this last session as well, that we would come through and do this. So yeah, just wrapping that up pretty quickly. Nothing too wild yet, I would say. But I will say, again, if it was good to see your responses and reactions in the comments, as always, with regards to how things are looking. Some great ideas came through, including the idea of, trying to find ways to have, flowers and stuff integrated into the rock walls. I really like the idea of, things growing through, through other, through... I've got that rose that grows, on the concrete thing in my head, so that's the only example coming in mind. But just having flowers and stuff grow through constructs, I think it looks beautiful. It tells a whole story. So I tried to integrate that a little bit. Got some vines and stuff going as well. Just to, again, now this is where we start moving away from Machu Picchu. It looks like exactly, just to embellish it in ways that work in a video game. So that's where the flowers get added and things like that. I think it does a nice little bit. But before I moved on with that, I wanted to get the stairs down because, like I said, I was going to rework the stairs, and I am so much happier with how they look now. To me, they look infinitely better, more appropriate. They fit the space better, and they have that same, well, calling it monolithic is wrong, obviously, because these are not monolithic. Mono meaning single or one, and lithic being, of stone. It's obviously multiple stones, but it has that imposing feel, I suppose, where it's larger blocks of stone. It feels a bit more powerful. It feels a bit more constructed rather than the pieces we used earlier, which obviously also felt constructed, but a little bit more flimsy, I would say. But yeah, getting some flowers and stuff in on the steps as well, just embellishing the steps a bit more too. Getting those little pops of color, I feel like goes a long way, and we do a fair bit of that today actually. Over the course of this time lapse, I'm gonna go ahead and add like layers to the steps as well, so they feel again like they've been like it's stacked as opposed to just kind of floating there, which feels really weird. And then going through and actually adding more quote unquote bushes. We use the holly tree, clip it through the ground, and it creates a nice kind of just again another pop of color, another like way to break the surface a little bit. And as I was placing this down, just to make the mouth of the cave or whatever you want to call it a bit more interesting, as I was placing this down, something occurred to me, and I'm either gonna regret this this occurrence and my commitment to it, or I'm gonna love it. Again, as of now, I'm loving it, but who knows? It's only a matter of time before I look back at something I've created and go, "What was I thinking? I hate this." I don't know if we'll get there though. I'm personally quite pleased, but I don't know if you can already tell where I'm going with this. But take a look at the top of those mossy rocks, and take a look at that color. It's so green and vibrant, and you know, if you squint a little bit, it looks like grass. It's not perfect. Not perfect. It is moss, and it does have that look of being like moss as opposed to grass. As far as the color is concerned, very much on point. And here you can see we finally kick off the execution. Now this ends up taking a fair bit of time, and I'm definitely glad this is a time lapse. But it completely, in my opinion at least, completely changes what Llama Lane looks like. Because we've gone from this kind of like dirty green and the, you know, obviously the actual dirt itself as well. We've gone from that to a very vibrant and punchy green. And again, as I was placing it, you can maybe see every once in a while I zoom out and I kind of hesitate and I second guess and I go like, I don't know, is this the right call? Because it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of time. Is it worth it? Is it looking good? I wasn't sold yet entirely, but I was still feeling pretty good about how it's working. So I decided, okay, listen, the only way to know for sure is to execute at least a large chunk of this. If I don't like it, we can come back, we can fix it. But as I kept putting down more and more pieces, I kept feeling more and more confident that we can make this work. It's not perfect in many spaces. It's not, you know, like there are some issues with like, because again, at the end of the day, these are rocks as opposed to soil. And if I'm not mistaken, and I might be, but I'm pretty sure I've got this right, but at Machu Picchu, it is grass on soil, not moss on rock. So, you know, there is that obvious visual distinction. But we're able to make it work, I think. You know, we were able to find the flatter sides of the rocks and just play along a little bit. Again, have to use the mind's eye a little bit to really get to really sell the execution, I suppose. But overall, yeah, pretty pleased with how the color stands out and how even the rock, when it's exposed at the edge, looks. You'll see me kind of finesse and fine-tune just how close to the edge we get. I do that a couple of times because I'm basically trying to figure out how comfortable I am with part of the ground itself being exposed. Now this was a long undertaking actually. This time lapse ended up being one of the longer ones we've done recently because there's so many moving parts. I go in and I finesse things every so often. I have to make adjustments every so often. But I'm pretty again, we're obviously not done. I'm just taking a pause. I think taking a look at reference right now if I was a betting man, just trying to check myself, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think it was well worth the time. As you can see, even in this view really quickly, like, yeah, some of it looks a little kind of like rocky, I suppose. But I think that's because we know what it is and we're looking for it right now. But I think as soon as we get into the flow of things again and we let the history of this construction kind of fade into the background, it'll start to feel like what we're trying to replicate over here. The unfortunate limitation I keep finding myself butting up against is that the animals don't want too many trees. And you'll see me put down quite a few trees today. We have to make some adjustments. I'm still happy with how the coverage ends up at the end, but actually I guess I do a lot of it right now. You can see, and I was getting suspicious as well that the animals might not be too pleased about the circumstances. But you can see I have to go in and adjust how much coverage they're dealing with. So it's a little unfortunate. Now again, we can be a little liberal with the trees because the even though it might be too much coverage, they're not immediately upset by it. But we experiment more with that in a bit. Now back to the water space over here. I felt like again it was a little too sudden. It just it goes from like there's nothing happening there. It goes green, brown, and then like a muddier brown. So I wanted to change that up and break that up a little bit. So for now I put down these gray rocks. I believe later on I do change it to the mossy rock as well. Just again continue that coloration and feel. That's one thing that I am struggling with a little bit. And I like how the green looks, but I wanted to balance it. I wanted to make sure there isn't too much of it. And you can see for the longest time, this is kind of where I've stopped putting down the mossy green, just on those top 2 levels, because I was like, I think that's enough. I don't think we need any more. I think the bottom level can stay as is. It's fine. And then I go in and I make some more adjustments to the rocks to again make them feel a little bit better. I'm really, you know what? Looking back at the time lapse, I'm still super pleased. I'm really happy with this. Just that little glimpse of that angle was just like, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. But yeah, now you can see I go, you know what? I like it. Let's go all out. Let's do the bottom floor as well. Let's see if we can't make this work. And so we do the bottom section as well. And yeah, it's come together pretty nicely. The exposed rock is used to create the actual rim of the waterway as well, and that's going to get pretty interesting once we drop the VFX and stuff in too. And I actually go in over here. Now I do forget, and I'm kicking myself for it, I meant to build a covering that's more aesthetically appropriate for our llamas in this time lapse, but it completely slipped my mind. So we'll do that during a beauty pass or something. It'll be really quick, but we'll do it later. Now over here, I was trying to find a way to cut off the moss, like the rocks, from the rest of the enclosure because it was starting to like get in the way and interfere with the food trays and things like that. So I put down some of the rocks, treat them as like pathing, if you will, like that's where there's a cutoff. And then that of course naturally led to this section, which I was already thinking about. Was like, okay, well if I'm putting down all this mossy rock, I need to also put down a path because we can't have people just walking on the mossy rock. I mean, it feels like you totally could because it's supposed to be grass, and I guess we could do that. But I thought, well, just for posterity, let's build our fake ground, see what folks have to say, and we'll adjust accordingly. But to that end, let me know what you have to say. I'm curious if y'all like this, or if you prefer it just be like a grassy path to walk on, because that works too. But either way, we've hidden the actual path down below, and now we're building our own little custom path. I don't really like how these corner elements look, and I do get rid of them later. But for now, they've been put down. And I decided to integrate this section properly as well. I wasn't sure how we were going to do this, but I figured, you know what? Got to go all the way over here, so we go ahead and put the flooring down. And again, everything doesn't have to line up perfectly. I'm not about that over here. It's good to have a little bit of that randomness and a little bit of that haphazardness. I'm fine with that. But I try to make it as real or logical as possible, obviously, at the same time. But yeah, getting the ground done over here, the flooring, the walkway done over here as well, if you will. Overall, pretty pleased with how this is looking. I do get rid of all this stuff at the end, so I'm curious how to patch that up. But that's basically the end of this time lapse, if I'm not mistaken. I hope you guys like the end result as much as I do. I'm pretty pleased, actually. Looking back at it still, I am pretty pleased with it. Just a matter of fixing up a couple of little things that we can do during a beauty pass. But apart from that, I'm pretty sure this is the end of the time lapse. So back to regular speed. We'll do Pachamama's Garden some other time. Hope you all like this one. Let me know down below, as always. Alright folks, we are back from the time lapse, and I am, well, I mean, first of all, I guess I should say, yep, did it again. Thought I'd get Pachamama's Garden as well as this done, but I was lying to myself. I'm pretty pleased with this. There's a little bit of, there's some stuff here and there that like maybe I'm second guessing or wondering about, or like trying to figure out how to like maybe finesse like some of these little bumps here and there that we could smooth out a bit more, that kind of stuff. But overall, I'm kind of liking this. I don't know if it's just because I've grown to like it because I put the effort in, or if it's actually good. So y'all let me know as always, and check me, and also feel free to wreck me if I am wrong, because maybe I am. But I really like how this actually feels a bit more in line with the green level of Machu Picchu. Like, it is green. It is green. It's not just patchy green or brown green or, you know, dirty green. It is green. And I feel like this really does hit those notes a lot better. And I hope y'all agree. I mean, if you don't, just let me know. But I feel like this does a better job of actually representing what the tops of the pieces of Machu Picchu look like. So this always happens after time lapses. I notice the little things that I forgot to like adjust maybe previously, and then I have to kind of go in and clean things up a little bit. I hope y'all don't mind, but it's the change in pace and speaking through ideas often reveals, you know, errors or mistakes or issues that need cleaning up as I'm speaking through them. Let's go ahead and just make a quick job of it right now. Don't have to overcomplicate things. Don't want to like drag this on any longer than it already has. That's primarily for myself, I guess. For y'all, it was probably like just what, like 10 minutes or so. That was about an hour's work. Actually, more than almost an hour and a half or so, just trying to get the flooring and stuff to work out nicely and adding a few more rocky sections. I was going to put down some more. I was going to put down some more like chops and stuff as well, but actually, I first want to check what customer and guest needs are in the area before I get into that world of adjusting, you know, like responding to their needs. I want to share that as a part of the experience. I feel like is actually investigating what guests are feeling. So I didn't want to do that during the time lapse. Sometimes I do when it's just a new space entirely, but since this is specifically in response to how customers are feeling, it's a little different. But yeah, like I don't know, it just feels. There's definitely cleanup work that needs to be done, I would say, in certain parts. And the problem is that I was putting lots of trees down, but we were getting to that point, and I don't know if we're still just a little over. And there are some of these plants that these guys just do not like. Where are they actually? I don't see. Oh, down over here. Why are you even, hang on a second. That shouldn't be a part of your enclosure at all. Like that shouldn't even be close to being counted. Let's see what's going on over here. Pretty far away. Oh, I mean, I guess right. Of course. I forgot about. There we go. Let's do that then. And let's do that. Hopefully, that stops counting these. We'll see. Because, again, it's not the end of the world. Because if we take a look at animal happiness, you'll see that they are overall happy with like vegetation and stuff. It's the cleanliness that's a problem right now, but that'll get fixed up. So it's not the end of the world, but I do like to try and manage that as well, manage those expectations, if you will, of the animals. But yeah, anyway, I say we hit play. We take a look at how folks deal with this space. I'm pretty pleased. We'll see. I don't know why I'm such a broken record right now. I think I'm just procrastinating the real issue from today's session, which is going to be this ordeal. Do we unpause or do we kind of handle this on pause? I say we can try and handle this on pause until we try our first fix. And what's that going to be? Well, okay, so there's the nuclear option, which I think is going to be the option we go with, honestly. I'm going to go ahead and delete this group 3. Well, hold on a second I'm going to save the zoo before we start taking any risks over here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this group 343, which is this top section over here, because that clearly did absolutely nothing for us. I've had a couple of suggestions thrown my way with regards to how to tackle this situation, and there are a couple ideas that I'm totally on board with. Some that concern me, I suppose. The first thing to check is some of y'all were suggesting that there was a tree that could be climbed and crossed. I think it can be climbed, but it can't be crossed. And in fact, you'll see it's not like the monkeys are even able to get up over here, despite them being able to climb this tree, as you can see, because of the green lines. So that's not the thing. It is a possibility of them being able to climb and then jump over some of these things. That is an option. The nuclear option, just to clarify, is to just cut off the building completely and make sure the monkeys aren't able to get there. I will not, if I do that, I'm gonna try to avoid using the elephant grass trick that we used previously, because to me, like, that's fine for small things. This is a big thing. It just feels a little gamey, and I don't know how I feel about that personally. Just me personally, no judgment or anything. Just me personally. Now, these little temple walls and stuff, by the way, are not climbable. So those of you that were wondering if it's because we have the wall right next to this thing, no, that's not the case. It's not the walls. It is specifically the wooden plank pieces that are climbable that's allowing the monkey to get over. That's the thing. Now, okay, hold on. Actually, before we delete that, let's go ahead and do a couple of things. Thing number 1 is I want to go over to our trade center, because I'm going to forget these things if I don't do them right now. So let me just distract myself, if y'all don't mind, momentarily. I want to take a look at our... I've got a lot of animals I need to trade out. Where are our llamas? Because y'all pointed out that I might have made a bit of a, silly goof, if you will. In that Tuta should actually be able to stay. I think now that we've moved her into the trade center, though, she's going to unpair with her mate. So we could try and bring her back in and see how she responds to that. See if things go okay. We do have a couple of animals in the quarantine as well, being checked up right now. We just traded them in basically at the end of last session, so we'll see how that proceeds. But yeah, I'll see if we can keep Tuta. It'd be nice to. I like to keep the animals. I can always just put them on contraceptives. I was just, I guess, cleaning house. Maybe a little too aggressively, I suppose. But the problem is, like, I can only put so many animals on contraceptives. If all of my females end up... I guess I can put them on contraceptive, wait until they find their mates, and because they're monogamous, I don't have to worry about it afterwards. I guess I can do that. Fair enough. Anyway, that's been taken care of. The other thing I want to do is we're going to go ahead and... Do I really want to empty this entire enclosure? Not yet. Not yet. Because the first step, one of the suggestions was to empty this enclosure, make all the adjustments, and then put the monkeys back in, because that would be a great way to prevent the the lagging from happening. Which, I mean, great idea, honestly. That's really quite smart. But I'm going to first test this out, see if that does the trick to any degree whatsoever. And then maybe we tackle that. So let's go ahead and select our monkey. Right, we're gonna unpause, and hopefully this will be inaccessible. We'll find out. There have been other suggestions as well as to how we can try and tackle this. Like, there's a huge crowd as well. Look at that lineup. Oh, really is quite important. That's the thing, is like, because they can climb these structures, like these planks over here, they're able to get anywhere. Because they're able to clip through and stuff as well. All right, fair enough. I think we're gonna have to go with blocking the building off. I think realistically there's no other option, which is unfortunate, but really not all that much lost, because the monkeys don't really have a reason to come up here anyway, right? Like, so we blocked off all of their access points anyway, so it's okay. I'm not that, like, bummed about it or anything. My lord, yeah, people really like drinking water. Which, I mean, fair. But these lineups for water above anything else, honestly, is insane. Like, even we've got a Cosmic Cow ice cream over here. People do not care. No one wants the Mexcellente, or rather, I should say the Capucha Dia, or the Capuchuin. It's all about the water. I mean, good. Hey, stay hydrated, right? Up over here, also, like nothing. Cool. I mean, hey, good to know. We just got to drop more spots for drinking water down. Now, so in that case, the question becomes, fine, how do we cut the monkeys off from reaching over here? Because if we look at the monkey and its options, yeah, see, it's even able to get back out over there. Fine. Very well. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. We don't need it anymore. Our blocking needs to happen a lot lower. What we can try and do... I don't want to just put down a barrier. I might need to, though. I might need to. Alright, let's go ahead and save real quick again. And again, I feel like this problem solving is a part of the game, which is why I'm not, like, editing it out. But if people don't want to, like, be involved in this process, I mean, let me know. Maybe I'll, like, timestamp it or something. But I guess I'd rather have the option for folks who want to see it there than not, I guess. I don't know. Still trying to figure out. Because to me, this is, yeah, a crucial part of the game is problem solving this kind of a thing. But, you know, again, I am just one person. I'm curious, as always, to hear other folks' opinions. Now, the bamboo is climbable as well. However, shapes like this typically prevent an animal from climbing through. The issue arises in clipping. Now, I don't know if the monkeys will clip through the bamboo. But either way, right now, all I'm really setting myself up for is to see if this would even work, in theory. Let's go ahead and group you up. Quick check over here. And we might, again, we're going to take some losses momentarily as we, you know, solve this and block guests off and experiment a little bit here and there. But that's okay. We're at that comfy spot with finances where we don't really have to worry as much anymore. So that's okay. Let's go ahead and see if that does the trick, right? I'm going to give it a second. It's going to recalculate. There it is. And the moment the building gets disconnected from the traversable area for these monkeys, we'll be fine. That's all we really need. Does this do the trick? I mean, this is obviously not right. There we go. Okay, they are very much still able to get over and across. I guess they're... You can see the climbing stops, but I guess they're able to clip through. Okay, fine. Fair enough. I should have known that would be the case. Should have known. Undo you as well, please. Away you go. Okay. Alright, so attempt number 2. We could just put down... again, this is just me just testing to make sure this is the only access point they have, right? Let's go ahead and put down a bunch of rocks across the field over here. Definitely doing something. Because it glitched there for... Well, not glitched, but it paused there for a second. Alright. I do wonder if we can't just cut them off over here, because they don't swim. They don't swim, so that should cut them off, right? Just blocking off this much space. Let's go ahead and get the monkeys collected. Oops, let's unpause it like this. I guess they're able to walk through rocks and stuff, but we're not going to take advantage of that. I really don't want it to come to that. Alright, so rocks go down, everything smooths out. So we know for fact that the problem lies in their ability to access the building. Though I don't know if that was even a mystery anymore. I don't know if we were asking that question, but now we know for fact, right? So now the question becomes, all right, fine. How do we do this except do this in a more realistic, viable manner? That's a good question. That's a good question. I wish I had all the answers. This is where we call it a set. No. Let's see. I mean, the rocks. We could have some more rocks over here, right? We could definitely rock block the monkeys, as it were. This is not the right kind of rock for this kind of placement, though. This kind of really only lives like that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other rock types. These are taiga rocks, if I'm not mistaken. Indeed, they are. Let's keep the coloration the same. The taiga rock color is probably my favorite. Let's see if we can't find a better matching. Come on now. Sure, I guess. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. Put another one down over here as well. I suspect they won't be able to climb that, but we'll see. So I'm cool with that, right? Kind of like a rocky, blocked off area over here. Maybe we make this... Oh, you know, we could make this like a nice little pond or something like that. So get it out of the animal enclosure and make this a nice like viewing spot. So if you're chilling up over here, it's just a nice, I don't know, maybe we have like an artificial waterfall or something. We can do something really nice with this. So I'm excited for that. That's good. Always nice when, you know, plans shift and manage to stay interesting. It's the preferred end result. So, okay, this is fine. We need to figure out the walkway and we need to figure out this. Now, will this work is, I guess, a major part of the question. Will these turnstiles still do the trick? Because if they will, then that's progress, right? And that's progress. And one way to check is to put the turnstiles over there, put the rock down over here, and just for posterity, let's go ahead and put a rock down over here as well, just to make sure that, like, you want to test with one variable at any given time, right? And right now the variable is our set of turnstiles. Looks like that worked. Looks like that worked. Let's find out. Nope, it did not. All right, cool. So how are you able to get over? Is it the turnstiles? Presumably, yes. So let's go ahead and do, again, sort of a one variable test, right? It might even be just this like rock section over here. So let's try that out first. Like maybe this isn't blocked off nicely enough. Let's do that. Maybe they're able to get back to the bamboo over there. One of the suggestions that was given as well is just like let time move forward and they will naturally go towards an escape route, and then you can kind of like cut them off if they do that. I was tempted to do that, but like I didn't know how long it would take for that to actually happen, and how many escape routes are there. Is it just the one that I have to look out for, or are there 20 and we just keep doing that over and over and over again? Okay, so the turnstiles work. See, I'm glad I checked that way. All right, cool. The turnstiles work. We can keep that going. But do I like those giant rocks on the side over there? Not really, if I'm honest. They don't work for me at all. Let's see. Let's see. If I put you down over here like so, and get rid of these guys, right? That makes sense in terms of using the turnstiles, not just as a blocking apparatus, but also for our guests to come in and out. The rocks over there are fine. Over here, this is, I mean, do the bushes do the trick? Moment of truth. Because monkeys can jump, but I guess they're only comfortable with jumping so much. Is like, I guess, the mental gymnastics I'm playing to justify some of these things, maybe. I hope they're naturally justified, but hard to say. There's a little update. Oh, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good, not gonna lie. Feeling pretty good. Looking like we're close. Oh, we are close. We are close. Not just looking like, but we are close. So now I assume you have access because the... Oh, there we go. Very, very crystal clear where the access is. These bushes aren't going to do the trick, so let's go ahead and do what? We'll put the rocks down, I suppose. Could we do something more interesting with them? Could we raise the tree up? No, that's the end of the tree. Okay. I don't want to just put turnstiles down because that's as gamey as putting down elephant grass. And again, when I say that, it is perfectly fine to do that. That is my last resort approach, though, just because I want to see if we can't do something a bit more... I don't know. Where do you draw the line between what's gamey and what's not? It is a video game at the end of the day. I just don't want to come across like I'm playing that option down in any way, shape, or form. It's just my last resort personally. We could add like some rocks over here, so hopefully the monkeys don't push through this way. We can move this tree a little bit. It will adjust our canopy slightly, but not the end of the world. There, so it's not like just clipping through the rock there. I wonder if that does the trick, or I mean, they're small animals, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to get through there. Nudge you in a little bit. There we go. Block that off. Block this off. We'll have to move the lilies and stuff. Not a problem. Move you out as well, buddy, if I could select you. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. See the thing my mouse is under. I'm trying to click it. Come on. Okay, come on, here we go. I literally can't be clicking on anything else. Collision boxes, man. I'm like inside. There we go. I have to be in it to win it, I guess. There we go. Oh, we might tweak this a little bit more so it blends in a bit more naturally, I guess. But let's just do a quick check over here. There is the update. Pause again. And the monkey says yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, the question is, am I actually happy with this? Yeah, you know, I am. I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Yeah, this works for me. This works for me. This works for me. We've got this blocked off. I was actually worried when I was thinking about this. I was worried about where the quote-unquote dig, like, grid ends. And I was like, oh no, is this all the way down over here? But it's not, so this works out. I could add some more greenery or something up over here. Yeah, you know, let's take a look at what kind of options we have for our South Central America. What are the monkeys? The monkeys are temperate and tropical. Okay. Bio. Temperate and tropical. What do we got here? What do we got here? That'd be something that'll work nicely as like grows at the edge of rocks and stuff. Could use this. I was looking to use this. I've used it over there already, but one of those shapes that I really enjoy. Oh, we could use these maybe. Again, just to like break up the surface a little bit, I guess is the intent here. So it doesn't feel so like, I don't know, repetitive. That's why these pieces exist after all. Like, that looks quite nice. Oh, hang on a second, are you climbable? Okay, you're not. I was like, wait a second. If we just start putting climbable things down next to our rocks and stuff, kind of counters the whole intent here. What about a different one? Nah. How about you? Oh yeah, that looks good. Got to rotate that so it's actually lined up nicely. There we go. There we go. Move you in a little bit more, maybe. Sure. Nice. It's nice. Break in the form a little bit. Yeah. Not liking any of those. Swiss cheese plant. Making me hungry. Putting the bush down. Oh, you know what, actually? Wonder if... yeah, you know what? That kind of works. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Now, can we move this tree out of here, actually? I think if we pull it over a little bit, like this space over here. No harm in doing that. Looks good still, I suspect. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Have a little gap over here. Might want to move you in a little bit, buddy. Not sure why you're out there, but we'll find out if it's because the monkeys were using that as an escape route. All right, what else have we got going on? Right, this. Let's just duplicate that over a little bit again, just to make it feel like something's going on here. Maybe what's it called? Primary succession. Well, a little bit beyond that. Obviously, that's usually just like moss and stuff, but just breaking up the grayness and bringing some life to the space, basically. I really like this this bush. It's a very versatile tool, I would say. Who'd have thunk you can use it at this angle as well. There we go. Just got you sticking out a little bit. Beautiful. Oh yeah, all right. That does a little something for me. Good stuff. We could put some down on the other side as well, right over here. Keep this area feeling alive too. Do that. I'm wondering if I want to like put anything on top of the rocks to. For what purpose? I don't think so, actually. That doesn't make sense. There we go. Yeah, this works. I could get rid of these turnstiles. I like how they look, but they serve no purpose anymore, I suppose. To get rid of those. Guests can walk through freely. Make a little bit of money. Hang on a second, what was that? The dollar sign is all the way up over there. Usually that means something elsewhere is being deleted as well, so I just want to make sure that's not the case. Nothing else seems to be selected. I'm hovering here because it would glow. Yeah, nothing else seems to be selected. Okay, must just be like a visual glitch or whatever you want to call it. Cool, done. Gone, done. Monkey should still be good. Let's go ahead and unpause real quick. Let them recalculate their trajectories, if you will. And I think we're in the clear. Oh, that feels good. That does feel very good, doesn't it? It does feel very good. We're able to get some more monkeys in here as well, and of course we do have our monkeys in quarantine right now, which is really just an allegory for 2020. And the space is so busy. We've got guests coming up over here. It's good and busy. Good to see. Just a pleasure to see this level of activity. And I know I sound like a broken record a little bit when I'm talking about Camp Capuchin, but it's a legitimate feeling of pride, I guess, in seeing it all come together. Now, actually, since we have fixed this problem, I want to get our name up over here. I'm guaranteed going to butcher this pronunciation, so I apologize for that early. We're going to have the name up over here. Go ahead and flatten the train a little bit. Flatten to surface. Pull you all out a touch. Quarantine's passed, ready to leave on a couple of animals, I suspect. Still a little bit of lagginess over here. I guess it is still recalculating all the climbing within this space, which is still some effort. Let me just check just to make sure we're not looking at any escape routes. Yeah, correct. We are not. We are not. Both animals have passed their quarantine, so let's go ahead and get this done. Juan, let's get you over here. Just give me 1 minute. And boom. Done. And Yuri, I'm curious to see if this is going to help our llama inbreeding situation. Now, the llamas themselves actually are going around this space okay. That was my one concern. Okay, you're sitting down. I was like, what is going on here? It's not, the legs haven't been chopped off. Yeah, so the llamas are fine moving around this space. So that's cool. Oh, you know what? I forgot to integrate their little hidey hole over here. I was going to do that this time lapse as well, but I got so carried away with laying down my flooring. I was going to create like a little cordoned off shrine section, if you will. Trying to figure out if there's a nice and kind of like modular quick way to build that. We just leave that for a beauty pass. It won't take very long to do. It won't take very long to do at all. Ellock is about to mate. Good for her. Sorry, so we've got our monkeys coming in. We've got, right, the name. I was like, where was I? Letting myself forget. My apologies. So, I'm actually not sure if this name will fit over here. Might have to go all the way across up over here. Alright, well, one way to find out, I guess. Go ahead and push you back a little bit. I wonder if chisel will do what I need it to do. I don't think so. Don't think so. Push you back a bit more from here. Alright. I'm for the alphabet. Those letters up here. Been waiting to do this for so long. I didn't want to put it down until it was all fixed and final and set up and going. Actually, hold on. I wanted to put the name up there for the longest time, but does it make more sense to put it elsewhere now? Come in. I guess it's all still kind of the same back over here. Alright, cool. I might need to actually put the name up over here. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Alphabet. Now, the letters I need. I'm gonna put the name down first, and then I will take my crack at pronouncing it correctly, and if you know better, then let me know. I'll get the apostrophe in there afterwards. Gotta search that separately. Yeah, K-U-S. And then we've got Ikus. So, alright, the words mean, because it's not gonna be English, in case you weren't already able to tell, the words mean monkey house. And in Quechua, I think is the name of the language or the culture group. It's an Incan language, so you know, it's sort of staying true to our environment and space that we're talking about when it comes to the monkeys and our you know, like artifacts and things like that. So I thought that was a really nice touch, a really nice integration. And again, I'm waiting to put this down for a while. I think I came through in the second round of name suggestions for the Capuchin enclosure, and it very quickly became a favorite. It is always difficult to pick and choose names because y'all are always so clever and good at coming up with name suggestions. It becomes super difficult, and then a lot of the time it depends on the vibe I get from an enclosure and how it vibes with a name that's been suggested. And in this case, this was like a match made in heaven, so to speak. And I couldn't help myself because we already kind of like went that route with the language connection, and then Camp Capuchin came up as well, and I was like, well, that's a nice touch as well because it all goes together as like a, you know, archaeological expedition. It touches on this very interesting concept to me when it comes to exploration of foreign versus indigenous, if you will. Prepare for another ramble. This might become a ramble. When I in my fourth year of university, I explored, as a part of my thesis, I explored how art depicts the newly explored regions, like when you come across something new, or historically when we've come across something new, you know, how things are often depicted. And then there was 3 methods of representing cultures that are foreign to us that I was kind of like investigating. One is the scientific, if you will, the very kind of manicured depictions, and that's where we get things like Camp Capuchin, which by the way is very nicely lit up. So this is that lens. Then there is the actual kind of first interaction with the space, which is for me is like the archaeological element of it. That's more when we're like figuring things out, rough sketches, digs that we are, getting, using as reference, if you will, or taking, I mean, again, I was referencing a historical time period, so it would be rough sketches of everything you've seen as opposed to photographs and things. And then the final stage is the conversion of it into art, which to me is just like the whole process. So for some reason, it touches on all these points that are of personal interest to me. So I kind of had to have that crossover, if you will, of languages where the how do I apostrophe? No, let me just get alphabet here. The crossover between Camp Capuchin, which is very much like, I don't want to say like, there's this, which is quote unquote indigenous to South America, not Australia where our zoo is, but South America, which is the space we're referencing, versus the Camp Capuchin, which is the quote unquote outsider looking in. I hope I'm making sense. I hope y'all get what I'm getting at. But anyway, it is Kusilu Wasi. Again, I'm probably butchering that, but it means, yeah, monkey house. Which, great. It works so nicely. I also like the fact that it's open space, it's open air. There's just that extra little kind of touch there. And you know what? You can read that pretty nicely from the entrance. I wonder if... Yeah, okay, well, this definitely needs to be adjusted. This definitely needs to be adjusted. Anyway, yeah, I could ramble about my thesis research for hours, obviously, and that I've done a very poor job of explaining it, but that's because I'm describing, thousands of hours of research in a span of like 5 minutes, while also manipulating letters in Planet Zoo. So, pardon my rough around the edges explanation of my my research and my work, but I find that kind of stuff really interesting. How we look at others' things, so to speak. And I always have this personally. I always have this level of I don't know, curiosity, inspiration. What's the other word? Just this, like, I guess, desire to know and learn and integrate stuff. So this gave me the opportunity to do that while also touching on, the whole archaeology aspect of ours with Camp Capuchin's name itself. Anyway, works on multiple layers. It's like ogre. It's like an onion. It's got layers. And you can read it from down over here. So that's great. Kusilu Wasi. Might want to modify the U a little bit. Just the angle on it's a little off. So if we just adjust that, I think... Yes and no. The K is not okay. There we go. That's more okay. Cool. And what we can do to tie it all in is... Wow. Selected literally everything except for the things that I wanted. I got the W out of that selection box. Come on. I swear this game sometimes. Just like, so good at so many things, and then something as simple as like selecting the things you want. It's just like, no, I don't want to. I don't feel like it. An animal in its own right. There we go. So tie all of this in. Get you on that. Oh, no. Don't have the color over here. Now this is looking great. We haven't spent the time to actually look at this at night yet. And by spent the time, I mean we haven't had the chance to ever since we got the lighting in. But I really want to look at that as soon as we finish this. Apply that. Beautiful. I mean, yeah. I like it. I like it. Oh, I really like this. That's worked out exactly how I'd hoped it would. It just so like subtle. Oh, that's beautiful. I want to have lighting like that in my house as well if I could, floorboard lighting in the kitchen and stuff underneath the cabinet. I love this kind of stuff. I love this kind of stuff. That looks exactly like what I wanted it to look like. And this is also actually looking really good. The glass, useless as it might have ended up being, I quite like how it looks. Now we could try to get rid of it. Do I have to select these pieces individually? I do. So we're not going to try to get rid of it because, again, I don't mind how it looks. So let's keep it. Inside, yeah, this is looking really good. Oh, man. Some of y'all already told me, like, mentioned it in the comments what it's supposed to be called, and I've already forgotten it. Like, I kid you not, I remembered until this minute when I had to be like, yes, it's called... Nope, not coming to me. Tried to trick my brain there. Didn't work. Did not work. Can I just get this to cooperate, though? Yes, there we go. That looks a lot more correct. Wonder if... Nah. Fine over here, but over here. There we go. And I'm so pleased. This is great, and this looks amazing at night. This is so much... Like, this is what I wanted. Oh, it feels so good. All right, let me see if we can't... I kind of like how the lettering is lit up. But let's see if we can't get something more out of it. Now, we're paused right now because the sun is just about to, you know, peak up, and we're going to lose the lighting. So a bit more of a paused session than I typically like to have. Bear with me. Now, here we could maybe use a spotlight. Though there is the one, yeah, path light that I really like to use for this kind of stuff. Let's see if it'll do the trick. I wonder if it's recalculating climbing even though it's no animal is able to climb it. I wonder if. Yeah, it doesn't really work. It just lights up the side of the lettering. That's not really gonna fly. Okay, no big deal. No big deal. No big deal. What we'll do is... want to light that area up? No, but what I do want to do, a couple things. I've had so many like thoughts, and there were suggestions as well actually previously that I had in mind, but then they slipped my mind. So I'm hoping to implement them now. I think the best choice for this would actually be the spotlight. What I want to do here is get you like so, I guess. No, I'm gonna have to. This is gonna be. Oh man, I like that. Like how the. I like that a lot. All right. Get this lined up over here. Get you pointing up a little bit. Reason for this is because I would like to see. Oh God! Watch out! Close your eyes. It's gonna be bright. Sorry. Okay. A little too bright. Oh God. That was even worse. Let's go ahead and darken you up. What I want to do is... I think it needs to be a bit warmer. Like, I want it to feel like it's light coming from inside a building. Definitely needs to be warmer. And a lot darker. That feels... closer. Lights the space up nicely. Let's see if we can't... just get you a little bit higher. There we go. That fills out the actual glass. Like we can see a comparison, right? Like side by side. Like this feels like it's lived in. There's stuff going on. And this feels like kind of like dead inside, if you will. So I think I like that. Doesn't do much for our sign up front, but I do still like it. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save because we're messing around with this space that is still lagging a little bit. So that's that. Go ahead and duplicate you over to here. Might do the same thing here. And I could do the same thing for that spot over here as well. Make sure it's lined up properly. That'll do the trick. Oh. Just feels, yeah, like it's lived in. And the orange and blue, I think, pair off nicely. Lights up the street a little bit as well. Again, just subtly. But, you know, it does do the trick. Ah, very happy with Camp Capuchin. It's just... it works. Now here, I think what we can do is... let's try this. Try and get our new world... where are you? Our path light here. I think We did this for our elephant temple structure back at Elite Zoo North, and it worked really nicely. Yeah. Like that. Underlit, very subtle up top. Feels, again, like it's lit for inspection purposes. It's not like a flat lighting. You know, I don't know. It feels like something I think you'd see in like a movie or something, which is why I like it. What I don't like, obviously, is these things floating. So we're gonna go ahead and fix that. There we go. I mean, honestly, if I thought it was worth it, I'd go through and build like little cables and quote unquote tape them down and things like that. But I don't think, I think that's going overboard at that point. You know, there's a limit. There we go. That feels good. That feels good. We could actually get one over here as well, I think. Gotta actually rotate you so you light up the right thing. One of my favorite lights, I think. Yeah, I love how it makes the texture pop out like that. Absolutely love it. There we go. Bringing the space to life, and let's see if we can't get you out over here as well. Down over here, maybe? Yes. Again, just a subtle little bit of underlighting, if you will. Let's see if we can't get like maybe 3 of these to make it a bit stronger, because that was a bit too subtle for me. There we go. I like that. Nothing too over the top. We could also look at lighting this space up. Maybe a little light in the corner over here. Gotta rotate it down though. I'm really tempted to like make a lantern kind of a thing. Not like the the Chinese or Asian style lanterns that are in the game, but like one of those old school yeah, I mean, think about an archaeologist, right? That kind of a thing. Definitely do the lighting for it. Okay, hang on. If I put this down so it points in all 4 directions, that takes us a step there. The problem comes in making the top and bottom of the light, but I wonder if we can't. Somehow. Maybe an experiment for another time. But well, that's definitely like, it's got that effect to it, I guess, right? Like someone put their lantern down. Oh, I like that a lot. The lighting engine in this game is great. I love that. I like that a lot. And I mean, I hope you all do as well, but if there's anything you loathe, let me know. Put this over here. Again, just lights the space up a little bit. Go up a touch. There we go. Watch the monkeys eating. Oh, man. Hell yeah, that feels good. Yeah, that feels, I would say that feels pretty good. I'm not going to light these spaces up. Let the monkeys have a little bit of, you know, like a dark space to sneak into if they want to. And I still got to figure out what to do with the benches over there, but that's a conversation for later, I think. Now, I wanted to get more stores and stuff down over here. What are you protesting? Why? What's wrong with me? Why are you upset? Social. Space. Ah. Gotcha. Alright. Wondering about that, actually, while I was placing these pieces down. Glad I checked. I wonder if that'll do the trick. Let's go ahead and pause for a second here. Go on. Update that. There we go. Literally like millimeters. Millimeters. Cool. Problem solved. Problem solved. Oh, look at that fiery orange. I wonder how we can light this space up as well without overdoing it. Like, I wonder if we do some of the, some similar, you know, this kind of treatment going on a lighting run over here. It really should be saving it for a time lapse, which I think I will do. Just want to see what this looks like. Yeah, we might do like that across a couple of spots over here. Light up the walls a little bit, but the animals themselves will also need lighting up, right? I mean, I like how that looks. I think it'll look quite nice across the board. Gotta actually copy it. So, not gonna do too much more of this right now. You're not. Don't want this to become a lighting session, a real-time lighting session. Lighting needs to happen as a time lapse. I know. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. It's not all the lighting we're gonna do in this space, but it's a nice like accent, I suppose, if you will. Man, look at this congregation of llamas. They're lamenting their lost friend over there, but she's been connected now, so she'll be fine. She'll be okay. And actually, hold on, I do need to find Tuta. I did not see a warning come up. Hopefully that's not because of my tunnel vision. Juan has arrived. And I guess Tuta won't be marked as a new animal or anything, so that's fine. Hang on now, what is this? Expecting offspring, that was a year ago. January of year 43, so coming soon. That'll be good for our money as well. We'll light the space up too. Right, so do we want to take a look at what are they protesting? Yeah, not exactly. Yeah, see, protesters do they cause trouble. It was been brought up before in terms of guest happiness, and that's probably what's dropped happiness down to orange. So hopefully, our little fix here will quickly solve the problem there. Gee, I really don't know what's necessary over here. I feel like this is where it needs to go. Now let's just do. How about that? Let's just do, and we'll adjust afterwards if necessary. Because this is something we've thought about for a while. I feel like this is the right spot for it. Because it's like close, but like not right next to it. I will need to adjust the enclosure's limits a little bit, I think, so that the llamas are not able to escape up over here. On which note, honestly, I am so happy that we sorted out the monkeys today. I was getting a little worried between sessions, I'm not gonna lie, that we stumbled onto a major issue that we were not going to be able to figure out, but we did. We did. We're okay. Here we go. Nice and flat. Wonder if we can just block off this escape point. Double click on you. Let's see. So we've got water. We've got lemonade, if you will, up there. Down over here, we could put down a souvenir store. I've got a couple of like name suggestions already lined up from many episodes ago, so that's a bit of a driving force. I'm not gonna lie. Guest facilities. Let's go ahead and take a look at merchandise. What do we have actually? Hats fantastic. Just a memento. Looney balloons. I don't know if we have a just a memento just yet. So let's go ahead and pop you down. Oh, is the barrier? Ah, interesting. Okay. I guess I gotta adjust the barrier. Fair enough. Fair enough. Probably for the better. Probably for the better. Go ahead and move. Where are you? You back over here. Move you back over here. Done. So let's get our just a memento. Okay, no, that wasn't the pause. Had a feeling, but I wasn't sure. Snap you in over here. Maybe it's the terrain. I don't know how deep we have to actually take this thing either, is the thing. It's like not like it's gonna have huge lineups or anything like that, right? Do that. Go ahead and flatten to foundation a little bit over here. There we go. Help. Just a memento. Third time's a charm. Alright, we could actually do a couple things here. So let's put the just a memento over here. Okay. Just taking a momento to check if this is what I want. I believe it is. Cool. Pop you down over there. Just a memento. Then I want to get a food spot because people are not able to get food over here. How about we get a... I mean, we haven't put a chief beef down, have we? Let's get a Monsieur Frit, and let's put you down a little bit deeper in there. Because these might see a lineup. Do I even like you like this? Let's go ahead and get rid of that. I think we do that. Okay. Yeah, that's Monsieur Frit. And then we need to get ourselves another don't think we need a drink stall. What we could do is we get an info station. Info center, sorry. Maybe. We don't have that. Now, the reason for this angle is like we might be able to build something interesting over here. I don't think that's the case, actually. I think this is a silly idea. So we'll adjust that. Correct our mistakes. Get rid of you. Go ahead and hook you up over here. Because again, this way we can keep the same like kind of rock patterning and stuff we were doing outside as well. That's okay. You don't experiment. You don't learn anything. So I'm fine with experimenting and then going back on it immediately afterwards. I'd rather that than not experiment at all, right? Down over there. Now, Just a Memento is going to be called... where'd it go? There we go. Pichu Perfect. Get your Pichu Perfect merchandise. God, what a name. And over here, our Monsieur Frit is going to be called Machu Munch. The Machu Munch and Pichu Perfect side by side, right? Like, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty Pichu Perfect, if you will. And we'll decorate this afterwards. I'm not in a super rush right now to do this. We know exactly what it's going to be. We'll do it in a beauty pass because it won't take very long to do. I don't know if we need an info center over here. Maybe we do, but we got one all the way down over here. I guess for umbrellas and stuff. Maybe we put an info center down over here or something. But I think I'm overall happy with this placement for these guys. Maybe I'll just put the info center. Oh my god, the camera. Work with me here, buddy. There we go. Maybe we'll just put the info center down over here. Go ahead and flatten. That is a little bit, please. Thank you. Of course, it doesn't want to flatten properly. Why? Why? There. Flatten. Thank you. Intensity, I guess, was causing the issue there. Then you're going to stay up there, aren't you? We could probably hide it anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Back to flatten, maximize intensity. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get our info center down. No. Obstructed. Probably by the terrain. Up top over here. You're really gonna do this to me, game? Come on. Why? Again, hopefully we'll just be able to hide it. I could put it at an angle. Nah, I'd rather just do a head-on kind of a thing. That way we'll have like a flat looking thing. Seriously, gonna do this to me? Come on. Might need to get rid of this. That's obviously not what I wanted. Might need to get rid of this path and put it back down afterwards. It's stopping me from flattening this. There, that should hopefully do the trick. I want to make sure that we haven't lost our connection over here. Yeah, that looks good and clean. Good stuff. Back to our info center. Still. There we go. Oh. Get back a little bit. So funny, it wants to be raised. Alright, let's get rid of you as well. Flatten to foundation. Nah, it's not letting me because of the stall back there. I wish these things were less particular. Move you up. So sure, get rid of the path. Over here. Get you up there. That still looks right. We might need to move that bench over a little bit. Not the end of the world. Watch, this doesn't fix the problem. We good? We good? Okay, let's go ahead and get that. Info center finally. If I can find it. Facilities. Looking good. Oh, are we? Are we? Yes, we are. Okay. You guys lined up properly. Looking like it. I need to be a little bit further inside. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Gaps look about even. They don't have to be perfect. Again, we'll be filling the space out and whatnot, so that's okay. On over here, we'll need to get more vendors as well for these guys, but the information center is called Spittin' Facts. What a name. This home runs, all of them. Alright, that was a bit more of a struggle than I anticipated, but is also where we're going to be calling it a session. I hope you enjoyed this one. I certainly did. I feel like we got a fair bit done at Llama Lane, you know, with the actual green tops over here. I'm very happy with that. Quite pleased. And then over here as well, I mean, just getting this thing all sorted out, you know, handling the monkey business, as it were. Everything's on the up and up, right? God, that one took effort. But yeah, folks, this is where we're gonna call it a session. I'm pretty pleased overall with the end results. From up top over here as well, you can see like the llama lane just looks, it stands out. It looks different. One thing I want to check actually before we call it is, yeah, they do have access to the water. Where from? Up over here. I guess they come across and they come down this way. All right, because then what I might do is I might actually bring all this right to the edge, so it feels more like, oops, so it feels a bit more sealed off, if you will, or feels a bit more like natural, like cliff end or what have you, cliff face, I suppose. This kind of a thing. Yeah, that kind of a thing. And I might do that, what I'm saying is all the way around over here, so it blocks this off as well. Anyway, enough of my rambling. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope the vision is coming through the screen properly, and I hope that next session we're able to work on Croc Rock, get that done, maybe even Pachamama's Garden, because Pachamama's Garden is just a matter of like a small, it feels like a small undertaking, but I keep saying that, and we keep finding ourselves in this circumstance. Anyway, as the sun sets off in the distance, or rises, I suppose, off in the distance, and as that balloon flies away, I too must fly away. And, you know, it worked a lot better when the sun was setting, because thanks, sun. How beautiful is that? Anyway, folks, if you enjoyed, you know what to do. Let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, it makes a massive difference in how I approach content on the channel, what I do more or less of, and how I go about doing it. As always, on top of that, a massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.